How's it going, everyone? And welcome to the latest guided project here by DataFrenchy. So today we have ourselves a Tableau dashboard project. This one is more beginner level, so if you're someone who maybe hasn't worked with Tableau too much or just wants to make a dashboard for their portfolio, this is going to be definitely the video for you. The first thing we want to do here is connect to our data. And like I said, the link to that data set will be in the description down below. We'll be focusing on a sports store data set, kind of looking at more sales, revenue, location, all that good stuff. So let's go over here to connect to data, go to an Excel file, and it's going to be called sales underscore 2023. Let this kind of load in, and we could take a look and see what we get here. And if we take a look really quickly, bring this up a little bit, it's just one sheet, so there's not multiple sheets coming in. We have things like the company name, the product name, the category, customer ID, product ID, all that good stuff. And what we're really just trying to do here is show off just how 2023 went. Kind of get to show which companies perform well, what states perform well, which ones didn't. Really just give us an idea on what to focus for 2024 and what's most important. So to really do that, I think what's important to dive into first is, well, how much did we make? How many products did we sell? How many customers did we have? Those are very important information we want to show off. So we want to do that is go down to sheet 1. And let's think right away. So we have over here to the left our dimensions and measures. And okay, so if I'm trying to figure out revenue, I got to think about the columns that would best fit that. And if I'm looking over here, it would be total cost, because if we go back to the data source, you'll see total cost is how much each individual order brought in. So for that, I'm going to go to total cost. I'm going to bring it over here to the rows. I'm going to leave it right there for now. That's fine. And now, okay, so that's it for total cost. I also want to bring in how many customers we had. And if we're thinking about that, I need a unique value. And in that situation, I'm looking over here to the left on what columns would fit that customer ID, because each one would be more unique. So to do that, bring over customer ID into rows as well. And what I want to do with this is when I go to customer ID, I want to measure it as count. I want to count each time the IDs came up. So we're all good there. I'm going to turn this into a table as well to show that. Cool. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to know how many items we sold. So we're thinking about the items. We're looking over here to the left. Which one makes sense? It would be quantity. So if we kind of sum up how much each of the quantities were, we'll get how many items we sold all together. So we drag over quantity down here. And we have sum as well. Okay. The thing is, I want these, they're going to kind of go across. Kind of like almost like if you think of this as like our dashboard, they're going to kind of go right here. So I don't want them going vertically. I want them going more horizontally. So I'm going to drag up measure names to columns. Perfect. Much better. And what I'm going to do here, I don't need that much room, is I'm going to adjust this a little bit. I'm going to make these a little bit more room so we can see. So I want to think now, how do I want to show this off? Because we have, it says like count of customer ID and total cost. Like, I don't want to say that. I want to say something different. So I'm going to right click on the header, do edit alias, and I'm just going to do number of, move my cursor, number of customers, just call it that. And for total cost, we'll just call it total revenue. And for quantity, we call it number of items sold. Cool. Okay, so that's fine. Now, one last thing I want to do here is I want to redo this revenue. I don't want it to be number. I want it to be currency, right? Dollar amount. So let me right click on that and go to click format. And we get over here what we're looking for. What I go to fields, sum of total cost. And now we'll go to numbers, because right now it's just in a regular number format, but I want it in a currency. And I don't want to show off the cent. I just want the dollar amount. I want to round it to the nearest full dollar. So I'm going to go to currency custom, 0 decimal places, and we're good right there. And I think another thing I want to do is I want to make them all centered. So right here, I went to measure names for the fields. And right now I'm in the alignment section. And let's go to middle. Perfect. Yeah, it's a lot better. We'll definitely mess with this a little bit more when we get to our dashboard part. But for right now, we have everything we need. These are very important things of information on how many customers we brought in, the revenue, items sold. So we're good there. So let's just kind of call this sheet so we don't forget. Let's call it KPIs so we don't forget. Okay, so next up, I want to figure out the states, right? I want to have a little fun here. I want to figure out, how much each state brought in from a revenue standpoint. But I want to not just do this any other way. I don't want to do like a bar graph or anything like that. I want to use the map feature within Tableau. So what I'm going to do for this is first I'm going to rename this to just states. So we're good there. I'm going to move the latitude to rows, longitude to columns. And okay, we have our map all set up there. Now, if I tell Tableau, okay, what are we going to focus on? We want the state going to the label. So now Tableau knows, okay, we are focusing on these locations because they are geographically aligned. We're all good to go. Now I want to think, okay, for each of these states, I want a different color, right? I want, let's say darker blue means you made a lot of money. Lighter blue means you didn't. And how we could do that is thinking, okay, how can we accomplish that? Use total cost. Bring total cost into color. And look at that. Automatically does it for you. Let's go to label, right click, or just click on it. And let's unclick mark labels, just so it's a little bit more clear in what we see. So, okay, yeah, it looks pretty good. Let me go to state, format that. Go back to total cost. Let's make sure for the pane, this is all into currency. Should be good. Yep, perfect. So in order, because like I said, if we went over the tooltip, you have saw it was just the number itself. We want to make it a currency. So all you do for that is once you're doing in here, you go to the total cost, format, and instead of the axis, you go to pane. Go to the pane, default, make that into a currency. And like I said, because we have 48 states here, I don't want to put a number to kind of go over here. I think having this along with this this legend right here gives people the idea that, okay, the darker the color, like for example, we could see that it looks like New Jersey might have made the most because they're the darkest of blue. Meanwhile, Washington looks like, yeah, they're at 5,000, a little bit far behind. So I think this definitely gives a really good indication on what did well and what did not. So yeah, that's states. We're all good with that one. Next up, let's add in another sheet. Let's do this one by the actual product. Let's go product category. Let's just call it category. Put my cursor out of the way. So just category. And same thing, I just want to know the total cost for each of the categories that came in. So what I want to do is with the product category, I could take that, pull that into rows. So you can see, okay, so we have 4 different product categories with accessories, apparel, equipment, and footwear. Now what we gotta do, pretty straightforward, simple, is think, okay, what do we want to go into it? We see where it says ABC. That's because it is looking for some kind of text to be inserted or some kind of value. And from there, we could do total cost. Now, I just want to show what happens. You might think, okay, this is rows. I'm going to put into columns. Look what happens. We get exactly what we want, right? Let's put it into also label. We get what we want as well. So it doesn't really matter each of those because they kind of fit in because of where we're trying to put it. But in this sense, if you want a table, put it right into text. Columns, it automatically assumes you want it as a bar chart, which in this situation, yeah, why not? We'll take it as a bar chart. But I want this a little bit different. I kind of want the colors to, first of all, I want to sort this by highest to lowest, which that would make most sense to me. We have that all set right there, but I also want the colors to be different. I don't want them all being blue. I want them kind of going, once again, just like the other one. I want the one that makes more money to be darker blue, and I want the one not making so much being lighter blue. Or we could do, it's kind of up to what you think, or we do a color for each of them. So for example, equipment will have orange, apparel will have red, just so each one has their own specific color. But in this situation, let's do it. Why not? Let's just do that. Send each other own color. Okay, why not? Let's just go for it. The only thing I'm going to change out is equipment because I don't want that blue there. So I'm going to click on color, edit colors, and for equipment, let me just pick out because I don't want to because we're doing blue on the other one. I kind of want to switch it up a little bit. Let's go with a green maybe. How's that look? Yeah, why not? we'll just go with that. One thing I want to do too is I want to get rid of this because this looks a little messy. I want to get rid of this right down here, this whole axis. So I want to get rid of the header. So we're good there. Now what I want to do now is get rid of these ugly lines, these axis lines. So go to Format, right click there, and I'm gonna go to the Lines section right here. And for the let's go columns, none. Perfect. So you see right there, no more lines right there. And then for the rows, I always get these sometimes a little bit messed up. Perfect. Yeah. Axe rules. I knew it should have been on columns. So right where we said none for the grid lines there, none for the axis rulers. And now you'll see there's no more line on the bottom, no more axis lines in the middle. Last thing I want to do is, I think there's a little cheat code here to cover up all those up at once, is I want to add a label at the end for each one. So I'm going to go to mark label, always show. And now at the end, we have exactly what we want, which is the total. And one thing I want now too is with the labels is I want to format those labels a little bit. So let me go to the total cost. Let's throw these in custom. Oh, forgot we got to go pane for that. I'm sorry about that. And we're good. Make that one. Good. Cool. So that's a little bit easier to understand, right? Instead of having all, because we're only looking at 4 different categories, we don't need to have an entire axis down here with, 10K, 20K, 30K. No, let's just show the number right there, get it right to the point, because especially when we do more filters later on, things might fluctuate here and there. So just showing the number will be a little bit quicker and not just like a typical table that we would normally do. So we got that. We got our category all good. And the last one I want to do is just show how have we been doing month over month. So I'm just do monthly, call monthly. And I think a great one for this is just a simple line chart. Just showing, okay, where were we in January, February, March, April. Just show how we did each month and stuff like that. So let's think with that, how can we accomplish that? Well, we have a few things here. Let's take a look. We have date. That would come in handy. So date right now is put in as ABC, meaning that's just text, which that's not going to be the most handy. Let me just show an example. That's not going to be the most handy. Let me pull this away, put that back. I'm going to click here and I'm going to, let's say change data type to a date. Perfect. Now that's going to work much, much better. So over date down. Now the thing that's going to be important here is within this, when I pull it in, now it picks up as saying, okay, we want to just show the year. I don't want just the year. I want to see each month. So let me click on this arrow right here, and it'll give many different options. It'll say quarter, month, day, and stuff like that. So if I just click month, look at that. Now we get every single month right there, just like that. Pretty straightforward to that point, but that's why it's very important to make sure your data types are correct. And we could have done that in the beginning when I brought in the data source, but we always could do this right here within Tableau. So we have that, but now I got to bring in the total cost, which for there I can just bring it in right to the text. And same thing, let me format that into custom 0 decimal places. Cool, we're good. Now I can make this into a line chart because we have our information all good. Let's go line chart. Perfect. Cool. Okay. I don't really like that much. So I'm not sure why this should say. I don't know why it's picking that up like that. Why is it doing all this here? Okay. Don't know why it was putting in a number format. Didn't want that. Cool. This is much better. So with the line chart right here, that's what we're looking for. Sorry about that. Okay, so now let's make this a little cleaner now. Let's make it a little bit cleaner. So right down here, with how the dates are all set up, the months, what we want to do for this is we want to abbreviate them. let's just abbreviate all of them. So a little bit easier. We could definitely fit them into our dashboard much more because, like I said, each month might have, July has 4 letters, November has way more than that. If we make each of them 3, everyone should know what each of them stands for. This will be much easier to showcase this in our dashboard. We could get rid of, don't know why I said rid of like that. We could get rid of the date part. Don't need that. We don't need this as the name. So let's just get rid of that right there. We could keep this. That's fine. We can keep that. I think keeping all these lines are fine. Like I said, you could do whatever you want with this, especially when you make it on your own. You get rid of the grid lines, get rid of this as well. I'm going to keep them. I think that they're totally fine. Okay, so next up we could do now is actually create our dashboard. And for that, we're going to go right down here, to this middle button right here with the box called New Dashboard. And it's going to give us this size, and I'm going to make this into a fixed size of, let's go 1500 with, I don't know, 800 height. Something like that. Make it a little wider. I think that's fine. So this is where things get a little bit interesting. I'm going to definitely try and make this as simple, yet hopefully straightforward as possible while doing this. So what I'm going to do right here, there's 2 different types. We have tiled and floating. So with floating, you can kind of drag things over, put things how you want. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use tiled for this one. I think floating is very helpful for many cases, but for this purposes, can keep things a little bit easier and more in control within Tableau. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a title up here. So I'm going to do a horizontal container, put it right here in the middle, and then put one up top, just like that. We're going to drag it up, and I'm going to put in a text in here. I'll make this like 20 for now. We'll just call this sportswear sales dashboard. Let's change that tag. I'll make it like a black, bold, just for now, just so it's like a placeholder, should I say. So that's there. One other thing too is if you wanted to put in, let's say, like a logo here, because I know some companies have like different like logoing or whatnot. I think one thing to do here is put an image right here to the left. I'm not going to do that for right now, but we are all good for this. We have our title up there in that section. Everything's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little padding in here a little bit. So I'm going to do is, actually, no, I'm going to do that. Never mind. So next is, okay, how do I want this to look? I want my KPIs right here. I want them right here going across, very straightforward, right to the point. So I'm going to add in a horizontal container right here. Bring this up a little bit. Bring in my KPIs. Look at that. We're all good, right? One thing I want to do now is go here because you'll see, okay, it's not taking up the whole length. Well, we could fix that really quickly. So standard, do entire view, and there we go. I don't want to show the title yet, so hide the title. Okay, cool. So we got that. Let's make this a little bit larger. This is definitely very small. So right click on that for the font. Let's see here. Let's go to sheet. Let's go, because right now they're all at 9. You'll see when I make these adjustments here. Let's see. Let's go 18. Boom. See, the whole worksheet will change, right? So that might not be bad for some of them, but I don't want the whole worksheet being there. Let's go pane. Yep, I want the pane larger. Even make that say 28. Cool. Yeah, looks pretty good. And if you also want to, these borders are on automatically right here, but if you wanted to take them off, what we can do since we're already in here is we could go into here and, mess with the grid lines or within here and do anything we got to do right there. However, I'm just going to leave them in just for the purpose of this video. We're all good with this. So we have everything set up with our customers, revenue, items sold. Now, next up is thinking, okay, how do I want this dashboard to look? I think what would look really good is a map right here. And then having the, or actually even, I'm not sure. Let's take a look, right? Let's take a look here. So we think I want something here, this one half being either the month over month changes or I want the map. And I think that I want to see what the map looks like first. So what I'm going to do here is put in a vertical container right here, put horizontal right here, and horizontal right there. So I got my 3 little sections. Let's throw in the map first, see what that looks like. Cool. So the map, you can zoom in a little bit if we want. And when you're doing this too, make sure to perfect. Actually, it looks really good. Pull it right here. Cool. And this legend, we can lose the legend. That doesn't have to be there. Bring in another horizontal container. Fill that up. Cool. So the map's there. Now let me pull in the category. Let me also do this one for entire view. Perfect. Let's make this a little larger so we can see everything here. Cool. Yeah, looks fine. Might have to do some changes here. Looks fine to me. And let's get rid of that. Don't need this. Bring the horizontal container back in. Sorry about that. Pull this up. And now let me go to the month over month. I just want to see what this ends up looking like. Yeah, I think this is going to be the biggest issue here is how will this look overall? Okay. So, okay, I'm already starting to see a little bit of issues here because, yeah, the map looks fine, but this chart, I think, needs to breathe a little more. I think having a 2 condensed in here is not telling the best story. Or this could definitely be changed to a bar chart. So what I'm going to do really quickly is go back to monthly. I want to make this into a bar chart really quickly. See what happens. Okay. I'm going to just swap these. Take a look. And actually, no, that looks a little bit better. Actually, doesn't look that bad at all. So I think what I'm gonna do here is I think this might look actually a little bit better. Is okay. So I just want to make sure we're reviewing this again, really, very clearly. Is over here we have, like I said, the higher states are darker blue, and as they don't make as much, to get lighter. This one has a unique color for each of the categories, and this one is just how much we've made for each month. I think the color should be very similar to the state because I think that makes sense, right? If they see a darker blue in monthly in states, that means we're making more money. And if it's lighter, we're not. So I think that would probably make the most sense. So we go back to monthly, and I'm also going to do the labels here too. So what I'm going to do is the total cost into color. Perfect. Yes, we like to see this. Very good. Leave the states down there. I'm going to bring in for the label. Total cost again for label. Yes, we like this. This is good. Let's not show the header. Let's format this. Let's not show the lines. We do not want the lines. Perfect. And then also the columns. We do not want the axis. Don't want anything here as well. Perfect. I think this actually might look even better. Might look better. I think this might get to the point a little bit more. And what we can do too is, in case we don't want things too bunched next to each other, we could also put in these containers as well. Let's say I want to split this. Maybe it's like too close to each other, right? I can also put in a vertical container between these to kind of space them out a little bit, right? So we have this here, makes it a little bit less. Good. Okay. And I want to throw in a little color. So let's go to dashboard. Let's go format. What kind of color do we want to do here? It's a little like grayish background. Yeah, why not? Keep it nice and easy on the eyes, right? So we do here, it's all nice and grayed out. We're good. What I want to do is the background color. So with this background, what color is this? So it's like, where did it go? It's F5, F5, F5. Let me just copy that so I have that. I'm going to apply that background color to these charts down here. So what I have here is format. it's going to go for the background color. And what I'm going to do is for the sheet, for worksheet, will this actually be the right color? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, actually, we're good right there. And then same thing down here for category. Let's put this also gray. So things just kind of make a little more sense, right? Everything's not so packed in. Or this would be the other thing. If you want to make it all, like a white background, you could kind of do that too, where if this is all white, you want to make it white as well, we could do that. So if we go back to the worksheet, make it all white, just then make sure that for the title, it didn't mean to hide it, I meant to format it. For the title, you make it white as well. But in this sense, I'm just going to leave it all grayed out. In this situation, you could kind of put it in your own way. What I'm do now is also redo these titles. So say, how did we perform each month? Put that, maybe italicize that. How did each category perform? Let's make sure we spell that right. There we go. And which states brought in the most revenue? Let's also italicize that. Cool. So that's a little better, so we actually could tell a little more of a story. Let's go dashboard. Actually, I might want to change this color. I don't like the gray that much. What if we make it like a light, like a this go? Ooh, that's a little harsh on the eyes. But now we might have to change up, the background a little bit. Which one's this one? Is that one? Yeah, I kind of like this one a little bit. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna go back to the format. Here we go. Perfect. And perfect. Good. Cool. Okay, so this is pretty much in a good spot. Let me make this a little bit. We can make this a little bit larger. Why not? Ooh, it might be a little too much. No, it's fine. But I want to do one more thing. I want to be able to filter, right? Because let's say I want to only show by a certain state or by a certain category. I want to be able to do that. So what I want to do here is think, how can I accomplish that? And I'm going to put the filters right in this section. I'm going to actually do that right now. Go make this a little bit less. Put in another one. Come on. Cooperate. Cool. So you got that right there. So how am I going to do this? I'm going to go back to KPIs. And for filters in this section, I want to filter by the, let's see. Let's go by company. I like to know the company, how each of them maybe did. And along with company, I'd like to also let's do company first. Bring company into filter. Let's do use all. Click OK. We're going to click there, and we're going to apply to all using this data source. So that means that this filter could be applied to every single sheet that we have. So let's do company. Would be another good one. Would be a really good one. I'm thinking month, but month that would look a little silly. You know what? I'm thinking maybe just company might be best. We'll see. So now what I could do is I click on here and I go to filters. It's going to say which ones I want to use. I want to have the company. So I'll just spit this out into its own one right here. However, I don't want it to be this selection. I want it as a multiple value drop down. Looks way, way better. Way better. I'll make this a little more room. Cool. Let's see. Okay. So this looks good. Nope, didn't want to do that. My bad. So now what I do is filter. Let me show you what happens. So right now it's selected to every single one. If I let go of it, it goes to nothing, right? Because now I didn't select any company. But let's say I do Adidas. So this is how Adidas performed in every single place. This is how they did with their equipment, apparel, footwear, how they performed each month. Now let me do Adidas and Nike. Now I get both of them. Let's say I just want Nike. Now there's Nike. So that's just the way and how these filters work. I think drop downs are probably the best thing to do, just because they don't take up as much room. And just kind of looking through the data set as itself, I think company is probably the best one because, like I said, if we did date, then this would just drop. We'd kind of lose its value here. If we did by the category, we'd lose its value. If we did states, we'd lose its value. So I think just doing it based off company is a way to go. One other thing, if we kind of, let's see if we make this a little darker so it can stand out. Yeah, I like this more. So like I said, we create our little dashboard here. Like I said, if I did this going, on my own, not really having slowed down or anything like that, could have done, 15, 20 minutes. But right here, we have our dashboard of how everything went. I would also recommend maybe if you want to put in a logo or something like that, make it cool in the corner. But I also recommend that you kind of do things differently. Like I said, I'd like to see what kind of dashboards you make. You could tag me on LinkedIn, tag DataFrenchy. I have my learning leaderboard going on to try to incentivize people to try to, do this their way, make it a little more fun. Maybe you do a different kind of chart. And I'd like to see it because if you tag me on LinkedIn, I'd love to engage with it, try to get more visibility. But that does it for this project. I'm really happy you guys came for this one. I look forward to seeing you on my next video.